So the first part of the training covers the general use of lights and sirens and road positioning. So what we're going to look at is we're attending a first job where we need to attend on blue lights and sirens as it's an I grade, immediate grade call, and also how we're going to work at that scene, what we're going to do. Essentially it's going to be a 999 call to a broken down bus on a fast road, but that is essential that we get there on an I grade and try and protect the bus while we wait for recovery. While we wait for that, obviously it's going to be quite a high risk to ourselves as well as the bus, so we're going to cover a few bits in how we can protect ourselves better there as well. So we're going to attend on the I grades, start heading off. So using a regular change of tone, even though there's green lights, as you saw back there, a car tried to cut me up. AI don't tend to respond to the single tone if you've come from a distance, but they will respond to multiple tone changes. Come out to the middle of the road, it's important on road positioning. It will be acceptable for me to drive on the wrong side of the road because I can clearly see there's no hazards. So we'll just let that taxi decide what he's going to do. Happy with that. Come again, make sure that taxi's not going to pull out at the same time as us. Check in, we're happy with it's clear. It is. You continue round. I can see the bus just over there. So again, we'll make sure that all the traffic's happy with that. Coming onto a fast road now, so we'll just make sure we're not going to get hit at high speed. I'm happy with that. And here we are, we have the bus here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a fend-off position. You don't want to have any space behind the car, and so you want to try and obviously not be completely side on, but you want to be at a good angle so that the cars will go past you. As you saw there, that taxi come up behind me. He didn't hit me, nor did he try and ram me. He went round me. So we're in a fend-off position here. I'm going to put myself in danger up this way, but just for the point of explaining. As you can see, there's no room for anyone to come behind the car except for maybe a motorcycle, and we've protected the bus, so nothing should come into this lane in theory. We've got both blue lights and rear reds on because of where we are. Rear reds should only be used when you're stationary, and mainly where you're going to be a hazard. Now what I've done is I've used Alt J to activate the blue lights on the way here, and then I've used Alt J again to activate the rear reds. The reason I do that is it's just generally easier than playing around with J and K on its own. It means that we've got blue lights still on a slightly different pattern, and the rear reds, but we've got no headlights flashing, which wouldn't be necessary at a scene like this. So as you can see, the bus is we're waiting here. We have protected this. As you may have saw when I got in the car, I've frozen it, so which means that anything that comes by will just, if it does hit the car, will not move it. It will literally work like a solid object. It's a bit different when there's only there's a solid block. When there's say one lane and that one lane's blocked, the AI can get a bit confused there. But we'll just see what this taxi does. So as you can see, the taxi's completely avoided us and the bus and then returned to their lane. Again, that taxi's done the same. In multiplayer it's a bit more sceptical to going wrong, but obviously we can only do the best we can with the you know, the scripts and the system that we use. I find this is the best method with freezing the car and you know, being in this position. With regards to the position of the car, like I say, it's at a fend off. You want it to point to oncoming traffic if you've got that side of the road coming towards you, or where you want the cars that you are moving over, so to speak, to go. So this is telling the traffic, I want you to go over to the left, their left, and that's where the car is pointing. It's sort of at a slant. That's essentially how that works, and it's how people will react when they see the car. Anything like traffic stops, if you can avoid being in a fend-off position, blocking a lane, then do so. It's a lot safer. Don't block a lane unless you really have to. If you can get a traffic stop and pull over to the side of the road and traffic can still pass safely in that lane, then move over as much as you can. But obviously just make sure that the area that you're working in is safe, and that you're not going to endangering yourself or anyone else that's dealing with you at the scene. The reason I've used freeze car as opposed to putting barriers out is, one, it's quicker. The vehicle is a lot bigger than any barrier that we use, and when you use a saved car like this one, it doesn't despawn. There's issues, especially in multiplayer, with barriers where if you're not near them, cars will just hit them and either bounce over them or just go through them, and obviously you'll then have cars coming through your scene. Again, if you can avoid it, as working on a road where your responsibility is the safety of the scene and the traffic, try and stay near your vehicle. If you go too far away from your vehicle, cars will spawn beyond it, and then you'll have them in your scene. The one thing to note about the freeze car option as well, and another thing that works well with ELS, and I don't know if it's intentional or not, but if your car's frozen, obviously you won't be able to pull away like I am. But if you simply deactivate your lights, it will allow you to drive off. It will automatically unfreeze the car. Obviously I didn't want to leave the bus there, but for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to leave it there for now. What we also cover is traffic stops. Now essentially you don't want to be doing a traffic stop on a road like this unless you really have to. There's no verge or hard shoulder, so you're going to want, until you come off the road, if you can, avoid it. Obviously if the risk for that vehicle to continue outweighs the risk of you stopping on that road, then obviously you'll have to stop the car. But generally, for most cases, if it's a minor traffic offence, letting that vehicle drive off the highway will be a lot safer. There's less speed elsewhere, and it makes your job easier as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and pull over a vehicle, and again I'll try and do my road positioning in relation to that.